How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid. On the Thursday, ended up closing being down 4.72% on the day. We saw a lot of weakness inside of the market, so I want to make sure you're prepared for this coming week. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on Thursday. So it ended up closing at $21.01, being down 4.72%. On the low, it tested $20.91, and then on the high, testing $22.08. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you could see we traded at 18.858 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 19.419 million shares. So just below the average, so not too bad, and we've seen a pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 36.77. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 100-day, the 200-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So it's clearly to see that Lucid has been on a strong downtrend, and it is trading below all of our major moving averages, which puts it in a bear market. So on that Thursday, you can see we held support at $20.91. So for this coming week, you want to see the support level hold. If it does not hold, then we could test support right here around $20.50, which I mentioned. So many would be saying, well, you know what, maybe we might pull off a double bottom and then make a move to the upside. And you know what, this is very possible. But for this to happen, Lucid is going to have to break above resistance right here at 22.75, especially that key level we talk about, 22.50. So if it could break through this level with some momentum, then you're going to want to see it reclaim the 21-day EMA, which is at $23.59. And getting to 23.59, you want to see some consolidation. You want to be some support being built. Because if we can get that, then I could see Lucid making a move to the 50-day moving average, which is at $25.08. And we know if Lucid could hold up $25, I feel a lot more buyers would want to step in and then the stock could move up further. But for now, the way how it is looking, it looks like we have more downside, especially as we get closer to the month of May. So let's see how Lucid performs for this coming week. But hey, if we end up getting a double bottom and we bounce, that would be good, and I know many would be looking forward to seeing that. So now let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Lucid. As we scroll down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So let's take a look at the recent filings. So for the 15th, we have Creative Financial Designs that purchased 1,340 shares. We also have Paladin Advisory Group that purchased 100 shares, and we also have Advisor Net Financial Inc. that purchased 260 shares. And you can see we have some further closed positions, also with options involved in regards to puts and as well as for calls. So now when we move on to the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 63.26%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 4.17 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 250,000, updated 7 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate being at 3.38%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 13th, it was at 57.61, and then for the close of the 14th, being at 63.26. So what this shows us, Lucid does have short squeeze potential, especially since the short interest percentage of the float is at 18.70%. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution.
Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we see here on the inflow, it was 53.44 million, and then on the outflow, it was at 60.78 million. So we had an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown on the large, it was 0. On the medium, it was 28.87, and then on the small, it was 24.57. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large, it was 0. On the medium, it was 35.51, and then on the small, it was 25.27. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for the past 2 trading days, for the 13th and as well as for the 14th, it's all been 0. But for the 3 trading days prior, we've had outflow days. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, you can see 0 on both sides. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 1.14%. So this continues to be a consistent range for Lucid. So what this shows us, there's a lot more trading that's happening on the retail side and as well as for the medium-sized orders. And if you don't know what retail means, that means investors and traders like you and as well as for myself. So let's get into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Lucid, before we get into the price action, the most recent press release that come out is that they have new locations in Boston and as well as in New York. So it was great to see on the operational side, things are working out very well, and that's what you want to look forward to if you're a long-term investor. In regards to the price action, taking a look at the technicals, we know there was a low where we got down to $20.49. So if we end up visiting this level, many traders are looking for a double bottom. So we're looking to test that low again and then make a move to the upside. But do know, if Lucid ends up breaking through this level at $20.49, there's a good chance we can have a pullback where it goes down to around $19.90, and then we would have to see what it would do from there. And of course, I'll be keeping you guys updated. But that's what it's looking like in the technical sense. So if we see some more weakness coming into the tech sector and so forth, I could see Lucid pulling back even more and not doing that double bottom to the upside. If the market is strong, then I'm looking forward to seeing Lucid move with it. And part of the reasons being is we already know the key level it needs to reclaim back is at $22.50. Make that move to $22.75, then that move to $23, and we know as far as $25 is concerned, if it could hold support there, we have that consolidation, buying volume coming into the play, it'll make a move to the upside. But what we saw clearly from the order flow distribution, a lot of the trading is happening on the retail side. Not many institutions are getting involved because we are seeing 0 for the large scale orders. So that is one thing you want to keep in mind, and that's why as far as for those price levels are concerned, Lucid has to have that strength to get above $22.75. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we could see that institutions do continue to load up on shares. And then taking a look at the short interest information, Lucid does have short squeeze potential. So if you're a trader and you're looking to swing or take advantage of this opportunity, make sure you're using the right risk management and you're being wise when it comes to your entry. This is very key, especially since we are in a market that is concerned with interest rate hikes and so forth, especially since we did see as far as for the CPI, it was a tick above expectations. So this is a concern, and it's part of the reasons why we are seeing weakness in the market right now. And when it comes to stocks that haven't shown consistent profitability as of yet, and they're still growing, they're going to be having the hardest time in these type of conditions, and this is why we're seeing a downturn in Lucid. So if you are thinking about taking an investment, I'd highly suggest that you do your homework and you do your due diligence, because at least if you have high conviction and the stock continues to pull back, you don't mind adding on those dips. But if you don't have high conviction and you're in the play just for the sake of being in the play hoping to make some money, that is the wrong way to go about doing it, because if it continues to pull back, you're going to be selling at a loss. Again, have a good idea of what your strategy is going to be, whether you want to be an investor, a swing trader, or you're just trying to take advantage of the day-to-day movements in price, so that's just being a day trader and so forth. I want to be very clear. There's a lot of channels out there that'll tell you, hey, you know what, this stock is going to go to the moon. Oh, we're going to 50 bucks. It's going to happen really soon. Again, do not do that. You have to have a concrete strategy that works well for you. It is your hard-earned money that you're putting into the stock market, and I want to make sure that you're able to see a return and invest and as well as trade confidently. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how this stock performs for the coming week. We'll talk soon.